Hey folks, it's Mike with Grassroots K9, and today we're going to work on working with fearful dogs. If you have ever seen people work any horses, they work in something called a round pen. Because horses are prey animals, they're not predators, working in that round pen helps them feel a bit more free and they don't get as cornered. So I try and resemble that while I'm using a long line with him and let him kind of just do his circles, keep him moving around me, and slowly let him work his way in towards me. All right, so we're talking about working with fearful dogs today. And it's kind of a little bit of story time because I've kind of came up with this technique or used this technique from trainers of other animals. And for those of you that don't know, my daughter rides horses. And she was at one of her practices and there was a trainer there working with a horse in this fenced in area that was round. I believe it's called a round pen. Don't hold me accountable for this, guys. But I talked to them a bit and I was asking them, hey, why do you do that? And they were explaining to me, hey, horses are prey animals. They're not predator animals. So they're very flighty and very spooky. And if they feel cornered, it makes them feel even more defensive. Obviously they say, hey, don't back a dog or back a wild animal into a corner. So I started thinking like, hey, a lot of these dogs that we work with that are extremely fearful aren't in the predator mentality and they're feeling like prey. So I went home and I started working with one of the dogs that we had at a board and train, and I started using a long line the same way that they would use like that lunge line with a horse in a round pen. And I would just let that dog continue to move and keep doing circles around me. And slowly would work that dog with that long line closer and closer to me. And again, this would take days and days of repetition, but with these fearful dogs that are feeling like they're prey, everything around them is the boogeyman. Everything around them is monsters. So eventually, especially when a dog is on a board and train, we don't have all the time in the world. So one, we do need to be patient with them. But two, we do need to also push the boundaries on them a little bit, right? That's what training is about, is pushing them up to those thresholds. So I would use this kind of horse cowboy round pen technique to work the dog slower and closer and closer and closer to me until I can start to reinforce them and give them a piece of food near me. If they refuse the food, it's okay. They're feeling like the boogeyman's still there, right? So we would have days and days of repetitions of just a dog on a long line going around me and around me. And as I'm handling that dog, I'm not in the beginning stages asking anything of it. I'm not making, sharp eye contact with it. I'm not staring at it. I'm kind of just letting it go. And as long as that dog kept moving and moving, I was slowly able to work them closer to me and eventually gain the trust of the dog that, hey, I'm not an asshole and I'm not here to murder you. I'm here to help you and we're here to work on training. So today we're going to start implementing that with the board and train dog Kai that we have here. Kai is one of these dogs. Kai is a typical COVID dog right now, a husky that has unfortunately not had a lot of exposure. So now in Kai's mind, everything wants to kill him. So today we're going to take him out and do some of these round pen exercises. And ultimately the plan actually is to build a doggy round pen here at the facility. So maybe when we get the thaw, we can go about building it. But the main thing right here was we're just going to let Kai be comfortable kind of doing his circles around us and not asking too much of him and not pushing him into any corners. So I hope you guys find this helpful. All right, so we got Kai here with us. Kai's a board and train that has barely seen anything. The world is a big, scary place. Was displaying quite a bit of aggression upon arrival. Been here for a couple of days now, almost a week, I think. Starting to get a bit more comfortable, but nowhere near where we would like her to, where we would like Kai to be. One of the things that we do is with a dog like this, that's just purely in flight, like wanting to survive. We can't push them too hard, too soon, because it makes them feel like, oh, I was right, something is scary. So I hook them up to a long line and just hang out, let them hang out with me. So dogs like Kai are always pretty big flight risks. Oh, look at that. Took some food from me. That was the first time that Kai's taken food from my hand. That's pretty, that says that Kai here is making some progress. I was saying though, dogs like Kai are always kind of flight risk because in their mind, there's a boogeyman that's consistently chasing them. And they assign that boogeyman to new people that they see. Could be a sound. They could say, hey, that tree over there is the boogeyman right now. So we have to start to teach Kai how to deal with feeling stressed. And also that, hey, most of the things in this world aren't monsters, aren't boogeymen. Look at that, making the choice to come over back towards me. You guys are probably noticing the abundance of leashes. Decked out. It's for Kai's safety also. Kai doesn't really like when we take the leash off of her. So we have to hook something up, or sorry, off of him. I keep wanting to call Kai or her, off of him. All right, guys, well, stay tuned for Kai's progress. Gonna grab Kai. So one of the things that we do with fearful dogs like Kai, if you do horsemanship, I took the other leash off, this is gonna be interesting now. If you have ever seen people work any horses, they work in something called a round pen. Because horses are prey animals, they're not predators, working in that round pen helps them feel a bit more free and they don't get us cornered. So I try and resemble that while I'm using a long line with him and let him kind of just do his circles, keep him moving around me, and slowly let him work his way in towards me. Well, that's all we're gonna do. Nothing, not asking a bunch from him. If he happens to come up close to me, I'm gonna offer him a bit of food. We'll see, he took some from me yesterday. He looks like he's feeling it. Oh, look at that. Not good enough? Oh, the door made some noise, eh? No, it's cod. Not into the cod today. Thought because you're a husky, you'd be into that. Whee. So we just keep him moving. Because he refused the food, I'm not gonna offer him food for the next little while. Now we're just gonna hang out. Yeah. He's actually trying to get outside right now. Kai! Oh, man. We'll let him get away. So again, this long line gives me the ability to not let him feel super pressured that I'm going to be right on top of him and make him hang out with me. But we're getting to the point where we're slowly going to start pushing those boundaries and give him less free reign of how far he can get away from me. So all we're going to do is just let him keep moving. So when we're dealing with really fearful dogs, like Kai, it's important that we take our time and let them get to know us, right? And let them kind of bond with us a bit. They have trust issues. That's what the problem is. So we're trying to make sure that they end up knowing, like, hey, I'm not the devil. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just here to help you. So I'm sure you guys can see, Kai's definitely getting a bit more comfortable. It's pretty windy, might be hard for you to hear me. Kai's getting a bit more comfortable. Still doesn't really want to engage with me. Very typical husky type behavior. So we've been doing our round pen exercise. Right now it's not so much of a round pen. Kai's just got space to be free and come back and check in with me every now and then. I'll back away from him, trying to draw him in. We got the snow thawing out, so it's a bit sketchy of a surface for us, but having fun and taking time to connect with the dogs goes a long way. All right, so some more progress now. We're just going on a stroll. Kai's getting happy hanging out with me. Still on that long line. Giving him plenty of space for him to make the choices whether he wants to come and hang out with me or if he wants to go explore. Yeah, big man. So we got Mr. Kai. Not putting a lot of pressure on him. He's starting to figure it out. Boy, bud. Take our time, be patient with him. Like, subscribe, and share away. Thanks for tuning in.